How are we going, everybody? It's a big weekend ahead, folks, for gardening. Spring's only around the corner and you got to get your seeds into the ground ready to plant out in springtime when they germinate. Now, here where I'm standing is where my lettuce are. I planted some seedlings a while ago and I've been receiving lots of emails and inquiries about how are my seedling plugs going. Now, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about in seedling plugs, these are little plugs that we sell at the garden centre in Coburg as individual plants. You take one out at a time out of its cell pot, that is. So you're not getting them in a punnet, but rather as an individual plant. And that way you can pick the biggest, the strongest and the healthiest seedling that you want. You're not stuck with a punnet that has some good ones and some really not so good ones in there growing. Now, I did plant some punnets and I did plant some plug seedlings. That's plug and plant seedling plugs that I've got here, and I did run a comparison here. So a little trial that I've done to see how my plugs are going versus the seedlings. Now have a look at this. All right, very, very little attention, folks. I literally come out here maybe once or twice a week and do a walk by and maybe a top up of water. Now, I did scratch around with a cultivator here to break up some of the weeds that are growing, and then most of these are little volunteers who've germinated on their own. I don't need 1,000 of them. I've got 20 or so seedlings here. Now, this is a lettuce plant, green and red lettuce, both butter lettuce that are growing here, and look at them. They've taken off like wildfire. Very little attention. I've done a little bit of work with the soil and we'll go through that afterwards. But just a comparison, have a look at these. Beautiful, quite uniform, easy to grow, much better looking. And we'll go and have a look at the other ones. Have a look at these ones over here. Now, 2 punnets, I think it was, one on that side, they were bigger. And you can see by comparison here, one and the other. Some of them are tiny still and some of them taken off. So I reckon it's about 30% hit rate when it comes to punnets if they're not advanced properly or hardened off properly. And that's the problem when you get with punnets in garden centres. If they haven't been on the shelf for at least 2 weeks, they haven't hardened off, because most times they're grown under controlled environments, which is important for the seedling grower to be able to maintain a stable and sustainable microclimate. Otherwise, you'll have no stock to sell. If you're planting out in a garden, you know from one day to the other, you get a beautiful day, plants grow. You get a bad day, everything just goes backwards, and we can't afford that as a seedling grower. But what we've got to do when we buy the punnets and take them home is we've got to acclimatise them. And if you don't want to do that, well, you're going to have this sort of problem going on. Have a look at those there. We've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here, and the other ones, only really 2 or 3 have taken off really well. And on this side, if you're wondering what's going on here, these were seedlings that were really nowhere near ready to be planted into the ground. I've prepared the soil with compost, superfood, blackroot, charcoal, and what else is it? And liquid feed. But I also put on the grow tunnel because these were tiny. Have a look how they were in the past. They were tiny. Now they've taken off. They're almost going to catch up to the other ones on the other side. I've taken the cover off so I can get some fresh air into there as well, because we've had some nice sort of balmy days. 15 degrees. That's pretty warm over here. For those who live up in Mission Beach, 38 degrees, that's ridiculous. 15 is beautiful, and the lettuce is doing okay. These ones are doing okay, but again, if you want to grow seedlings, folks, we've got them in plugs like that. We've got lettuce and all sorts of greens at the moment. We'll have some more seedlings for spring varieties, so tomatoes, cucumbers and eggplants will become available too, and you can see by comparison how well they have done. So, do the plugs work? Bloody oath they do. They grow really well, and it's time to liquid feed them as well. 40 ml of liquid gold and 40 ml of Ecobutch in 9 litres of water, and give it a good stir, and then we apply it. Now, I normally say 20 ml of each per litre. That's if you do it weekly, folks. I haven't done it weekly. I'm doing it fortnightly. So this is probably its second application, probably coming onto its third. So if you're going to do a weekly pour, make sure it's a weak solution, 20 ml of each in 9 litres of water. Now, Ecobutch is going to just give these plants all the energy they need to grow bigger and stronger and healthier. And it's not just for lettuce plants. Both liquid fertilisers combined together are a powerhouse for all your veggies and flowering needs. Easy to apply and both certified organic. So rest assured, there's nothing nasty in there that's going to harm your veggies or you. And because it's 3AW Gardening Weekend, folks, if you just watched this as we've uploaded, tune in over to 693 AM, Talking Gardening with Darren, all things. And also on Sunday, we've got the annual grafting session at Werribee Mansion. I'll be there, Craig will be there, all things grafting. And we've got our big weekend sale as well. Get ready for spring sale. Coupon code word is ready, and watch the price get smashed right down, up to 70% off. A lot of great items online and in store. Click and collect, you get yourself a free sprayer as well. Check it all out at vasilisgarden.com. From me, Vasily, Maresi.